All of this love is toxic. All these kisses and hugs and knock shit. You a damn drug, you toxic.
And we did end up going to the car show together. And how we ended up going is that I bought the tickets. He didn't have the money to. Or I think I volunteered that I would buy the tickets. Because I'm like, I'm going to show him. Like, I didn't buy him an outfit. I think I went and bought him a shirt. But I went and bought the tickets. I remember I took my last to go to Ticketmaster in the grocery store. This time it was Ticketmaster in the grocery store. Because I didn't know how to go buy them. So I looked it up and it said go in the grocery store, there's Ticketmaster. I went in there, bought the tickets. I think they were like $50 altogether, which was a lot for me. I wasn't making a lot of money back then. This was a lot. And it was like my last. And I spent it on some damn fucking car show tickets to go with him so he wouldn't go with her. Because I was so afraid he would go with her. He said he wouldn't, but I'm like, okay, just to make sure you ain't going with her, we're going. Even if I have to buy the tickets myself and with my last money. So, bought the tickets myself and we went to the car show. Yeah. And I remember the car show was cool. I was just happy to be there with him. We looked around at some little cars. I remember I tried to look cute. I remember I had on a skirt because he told me that his ex would never wear skirts. So I was trying to, I put on a skirt and like, look at me, I can wear a skirt, And then afterwards, we did finally go on our like first date, real date, out to eat. We went to like a restaurant and, we sat down and ate and I was feeling good. I was like, okay, we actually went on a date. We actually doing stuff together. I'm feeling good. So, okay, I feel like the ex really is just crazy. It's me over her that he wants. He ain't gonna bother her no more. I know for sure now. And I'm just like, I'm just feeling all good. And, yeah. And then I remember, after us being done with eating and for the night, he was like, come on outside, I'm gonna take some pictures of you. And I'm just like, okay, because I had on a skirt. And he was like, I ain't never seen my woman in no skirt. My ex didn't like wearing no skirt. So I was posing, and it was dark outside, so he had the flash on. And he looked at me. He kind of frowned. He was like, so you shave your legs, but you don't shave your thighs? And I looked down, confused, like, there's not enough hair to really shave on my thighs. I didn't realize it was that noticeable, but he noticed it. And I was like, yeah. He said, shave your thighs too. You ain't supposed to just shave the bottom part. Why you ain't shave the whole leg? And I'm just like, oh, okay. And I made a note, okay, I'll do it next time. But in the back of my head, I'm like, why is he picking it over that? And I'm like, okay. So I took the pictures anyway. And I was like, oh, okay. Took the pictures and... yeah, I think he got in the car and had to smoke. He was a smoker, a weed smoker, heavy weed smoker. And it was getting to get on my nerves because it's like he couldn't go anywhere or do anything without smoking weed first, especially going out to eat. He had to smoke in the car. Even though he had gotten in trouble before, getting caught with weed, like a misdemeanor and shit, he still was doing this. And I was just so annoyed by it. I didn't like the smell because at the time I was not into that. And I was just all of that. And he got mad at me for being mad at him over it. And it was like we can really be up sometimes and then really be down that quickly. And it happened often in a relationship. Like very often. And so while we were out to eat, we ran a little bit. I forgot to mention. So the conversation came up that he was tired of living in his living situation. He was tired of living with his mom, grandma, cousin, and aunt. He was tired of being in there and feeling controlled and confined. And he was ready for his own place. But he was like, it's hard for me to get my own place because I'm an ex-felon and I got a record. And sometimes they check the record and I may need a co-signer. And he was telling me this. He was like, I'm thinking about, I really want to move out. and it's these apartments over in East Memphis. I really want to move to. I feel like I can get approved where I just, I'm probably co-sign and this and that. And he didn't really come right out and ask me, but he was like hinting at it, and I can feel it. But I'm like, I hope he not ask me that, because I was nervous about that. Like, I don't think I want to do that. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe, just pray about it. Maybe something will come up and you'll be able to get you some and find you some. And just pray about it. He kind of scoffed at me. And I'm just like, looking at him. And he's like, what, you believe in God? And I was like, yeah, you don't? And that's when he was telling me, like, no, he don't believe in God, but believe in a higher power. And at that time, I was really going to church, and I was a Christian and whatnot. And I believed in God. And I still do. But I'm not a practicing Christian, put it that way. But he didn't believe in God at all. And that was like a sinking feeling, because I'm like, I don't get all attached into this man, and he doesn't even practice the same beliefs as me. I'm like, how did this get like this? And I feel like I couldn't leave, because at this point I'm already kind of in it. I'm feeling like I'm emotionally invested in this. And so he continued to talk about, co-signing, and I think he just came right out and asked me, I sure appreciate if you can just co-sign for me and this and that. It won't hurt your credit and this, and he started trying to explain it to me, and I'm just like, okay. And I think I said, I'll see what I can do. And I was like, well, I know my mom ain't going for me moving out and living with no man. And I did not want to at that point. And so I didn't want to agree to it. But it was to the point where he's like, well, you can co-sign and just come see me whenever you feel like it, but not actually live there. And I'm thinking in my head, okay, maybe like to help him. And I'm just like, I didn't know what to do, but I felt like I was between a rock and a hard place, because here I am. I wanted to make him happy with me. And so, yeah.